Hello and welcome to the Expand Your Capacity training. I am so happy you are here, and this is going to be incredible. This came out of lesson 1 on my 365 days of lessons. If you don't know what that is, it's a challenge in our Discord. Go check it out and check out the channel. It is going to be life-changing. Like seriously, like I just did one day and now I'm here creating a whole class for you that was never in my conscious at all. So let's get started. I first and foremost want you to take a breath and start doing this movement with your hands. I'll back up so you can see me a little bit, but I'm pushing energy into me. I'm breathing in and out and just really feeling energy coming into my body. This is something I do before trainings. It's something I do before I speak, especially on sales calls, or especially on the days that I'm very, very tired. Okay, so now that you've done that, let's talk about what capacity is. Capacity is the ability to do more with your day, with your week, and it's also the ability to hold more, which I think is really important. But us in the Web3 space, especially, there's so much going on and we're always wanting to do more, to get more accomplished, and to have more time. But what's also really important is to have a really feel-good life. You don't want to be going through life, yes, doing all the things, putting more on your plate, just because you can hold it. You want to be able to hold it, but also be able to lead a life that feels really good for you. Okay, so let me explain that a little bit further. So when I started my first business, Rising Ranks Digital, I, of course, was doing all the things. I was bootstrapping and I was getting a lot done and I was getting clients and I was, having fun. This was actually fun for me. However, I would stay up all night getting stuff done, even though it was fun. And I started to lose out on a lot of sleep. And while the momentum kept going for a while, I could just really tell a difference. During the day, I was getting brain fog. I couldn't really get as much accomplished as I wanted to. There were words I couldn't think of, which happens all the time to me, but this especially. I was grumpier towards my husband. I had a shorter fuse to my child, and it just was hard. And I realized that I've become addicted to working and doing more and not sleeping. And I had this turning point. It wasn't even the turning point of me actually physically doing the thing. It was a mental and a realization that I need to get sleep. This is not helping my case. And I know it's something that I need to do. And it took me a year from just thinking that to actually putting it into action. I tried so hard, and I don't know if it actually was an addiction, but it was the closest thing I've ever felt to being addicted to something. I literally know this is good for me, but for some reason I cannot go to bed. I just couldn't. And I worked really, really hard at it. A year later, I started going to bed at 10:30 instead of 2:30, and my life changed. I started living a life of love, of creativity, of zest again. And the crazy thing is that I was working less, but I was getting so much more accomplished during the day. And also, that was the turning point of my company too. And I actually was trying to think of the month, and I was trying to go back into my QuickBooks, and I can't figure out the exact date, but I know for a fact that time frame is when I jumped significantly in my business bringing in more money. I was out there and just showing up in my energy better. And people want to work with people who show up in their energy, not people who show up half awake. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. And my realization from my 365 lesson is that when I sleep, I make more money. And I just got that connection. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so true. You want to have more capacity to make more money. And this is not going to be a class about getting more sleep. I was just my personal experience and one way that you can get more capacity. But no, I'm not going to talk to you about, or I'm not going to, harp on it too much, but I might talk about it a little bit because I do think it is really important. So what happened in my life was life-changing. My energy expanded and things were going really well. And that's really the ultimate goal of what you want. Yes, we want money. Yes, we want to be able to do all the things, but we want to have fun. Those are going to be the most successful people in this life and in the Web3 space, are the people who are having fun and making money and not burning themselves out. Like, that's going to be so important. All right. So I actually did this class on a whim. So I do have my notes up with me. So if I look away, that's why I am looking at notes to make sure that I don't miss anything. So I just wanted to tell you, and the reason why I wanted to tell you that story is that there is more time than you think. I promise you. You might think that you'll be doing all the things and you have no more time left in your day. There is more time. There's more time. And I'm going to show you how to get more time. So think about it. You are in the Web3 space. The Web3 space is very heavily focused on crypto. These are the markets that are open 24/7, no matter what, no matter the time of day, no matter if there's holidays or not. People are going, people are excited, and people are getting into it. So there's a lot of energy being expended. You go into Discords and it's like bing, 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 bing. You have all these damn alerts and your focus is just everywhere. You have alerts popping up. You have all these little red circles that you have to look at. And it does take a toll on you. Then you're going into Twitter and it just keeps scrolling and scrolling and you're missing out on all these tweets that you're trying to catch up on. And there's all these spaces that you have to show up for. And then you're going on TikTok and that's a whole other story because you're just putting your energy into scrolling, into consuming. And then maybe you get a troll comment and it really pisses you off. And you're thinking about that troll comment all day long. Like, that is not good for your energy. It's scattered. It takes it away from you. And to have more capacity is to bring the energy back into you. Okay? Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Comment and let me know if this is making any sense. I hope I'm not being too woo, but I love the woo. And I really do think that it's really even just past that, more than that. It's about personal performance. And how do we get more energy on a physical level, a mental level, a spiritual level, all of the things. Okay, so let's talk about how you can actually hold more. It's a big mindset shift actually, and it's something that you're gonna have to flex your muscle with and to really just keep practicing, and you're gonna have to get intentional. So it's about going into these spaces and maybe it's turning off your alerts. Maybe it's getting rid of Discords. And project FOMO, that's a huge other one. Like, you're looking at all these projects and then you have to go do research on all these projects and then more and more projects are popping up. There's a lot of FOMO out there. Maybe your MetaMask wallet gets hacked. There's a lot of things that you are dealing with. And I think that one very good way, besides turning off your alerts, besides making sure that you're being very intentional with your social media, is that you're also getting very specific. So I want you to ask yourself, and take the time, pause this and answer it. What does your ideal life look like? What does it look like in this Web3 space? What does it look like in general with your family? Not just what does it look like, how does it feel? When you're at the top making millions, like when you think about that and visualize that, how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel stressed out and tired and not enjoying your life at all? Or do you want to feel jazzed? Like, do you want to feel like you are just hanging out by the beach, relaxed and doing all these things? I'm sorry if you guys can hear that blender. This is another thing too, is capacity is huge. So I created this last night when it was totally silent. Nobody was here. I do my best trainings, my best lives at night when everybody's asleep. Well, I was going to post it this morning and it popped up, and for some reason the file was corrupted because of my capacity. Because personally for me, I slept. I've been training my mindset to really stay calm and focused. I breathed in, I breathed out. Maybe I was a little annoyed for a while, but I let it go, and I had the ability to let it go, and I didn't stew on it the rest of the day. or the morning. And now I'm here and I feel like I'm showing up in a pretty great way. Like I'm not pissed off. And if I was really annoyed, I would be rushing through this. I would not be delivering what I wanted to deliver. So yes, super bummed out about how it was not working this morning. But I always think that it's for a reason. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe that was the lesson that, the example that I needed to share with you today. Maybe it was the way of the universe testing me, like, are you the right person to deliver this message? They just wanted to test me out. And so one little example there, everything can go wrong. And it really is a mindset shift. And again, flexing that muscle of how are you going to show up in the chaos? How are you going to be the calm when everything around you is going crazy? How can you be the center of the tornado? And right now, I really feel like Web3 is a tornado in, a great way. There's good things and bad things, but how can you show up in that space? And just think about what you can do more of when you're in a place of peaceful calm, of creativity, of fun, doing your art even, versus just thinking about what some moon boy trolled me on TikTok or Twitter. So you get the point, I think. So besides doing all these things of turning off your alerts and things like that. Sorry, I went off on a tangent, but I want you to get specific and I want you to think of what your life looks like. Base all your decisions on that. And this is our pact to start becoming hypersensitive to how things make us feel. When you go onto Discord and you hear the beeps, does it make you cringe a little? Okay, so what can you do to stop the cringe? You can turn off the alerts, turn off the sounds, go through the Discord and see what you can leave behind, see what you can let go. It is up to you to create this space and to bring things into your life that make you feel really good. So turning off Discords, getting rid of people. If you own a Discord, if you manage one, get rid of the people who are not doing you any favors. And this is also a great point too, is that you want to get very specific. Who do you want in your life? What do you want your life to feel like? What do you want to be associated with? Everything else, get rid of. This is your permission slip to get rid of everything that is holding you back, everything that is making you feel cringe or anxious or angry. And I mean, at least in what you can. So the Discords, block people on TikTok. Stop following people if, they're making you feel angry or if they're making you feel like you're not good enough. Get rid of those people. If there's a Discord and everyone's talking about it and you're getting FOMO and you just want to go in there and see what's happening, but you've kind of been stuck in there and you don't want to buy, the community's not for you, don't buy the NFT. Don't stay in the community. And that's up to you. And again, it's being very hyper conscious. I think a lot of us are so used to running and not stopping that we're not taking a second to see and really feel into how things are making us feel. So be very conscious. Walk in and start doing things, and really, you can even set alarms. Again, this is a muscle that you're flexing, and you have to be able to give yourself steps. So maybe it's an alarm on your phone of how am I feeling right now? What is on my list that I can get rid of? Maybe it's a post-it on your computer. All right, let me go see what else I haven't talked about yet. But yeah, you create your containers. Again, we talked about that. And just think about showing up every day into a TikTok that you really love, into a TikTok that has been curated by all the things that you've liked, by all the people who are out of there that you've blocked, into the Discord that you created. You set the vibe of your containers, whether it is your Twitter, whether it is your Discord, whether it is your family unit. You get to choose the vibe. You get to set the vibe. And that's the thing too, is that even if you are going into a Discord and it may be going a little wonky, a little sideways, you don't even have to match it. You can set it. You can raise the bar. You can make sure that you're starting to put boundaries in place. You can start saying hey, this is allowed, not allowed, or you can just show up and lead by example. That's another big one too. And I just love this idea of you setting the vibe. You get to set the vibe. Nobody else does. Maybe you're in a space that's, negative. Get up there, start turning it into something positive. You'll start to see the trickle effect that has on everybody, which I think is really cool. So if you think about it that way, you're creating a space that you love that is not sucking your energy. So you're like, okay, great. Like, what does this have to do with capacity or anything? So think about this. It's after school, whatever, college, whatever. Maybe it's for work and you have to read this book. And this book totally sucks. It is so boring and you fall asleep within 3 seconds. Or, maybe it's just like this long article that you're reading when you're tired and you fall asleep. Happens all the time. It's happened to everyone. Like suddenly you're awake and you start reading something and it makes you yawn. And you're like, why am I yawning? I'm not even tired, but this book is making me tired. And then, maybe it's at midnight and you're supposed to be going to bed and you're like, okay, I'm just going to read this one thing about Web3, and bam, 3 hours later, you're still down the rabbit hole. You're wide awake. You're totally into it. And you're like, how did I get here? Or even if it's just a good story, like maybe it's a book you brought with you on vacation that you ended up not being able to put down no matter what time or no matter how tired you were. That's the difference. Literally, these things that are energy sucks literally suck your energy. They drag you down. They don't let you do the things that you want to do. And that's huge. So think about if you went into the Discord every day feeling really good and really jazzed and like not even eating coffee for the day. That happens to me. Like when I get up and get started and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot my coffee. I'm like, oh, well, I don't need it. Like I've just been in these incredible Twitter spaces all day. I've been presenting all day and it's about stuff I love. I don't need coffee. And on top of that, like it gets you laser focused. Beyond just energy, it gets you laser focused. It gets you thinking creatively. It gets your wheels spinning. So yeah, you might have a lot of thoughts and that does exert energy too, but it is energy that is being useful for you. So write it down, get out of your head, keep it coming, but write it down and move on and do your thing. Go through your checklist. And yes, if you're getting sleep, you're going to be so much clearer to get stuff done. If you sleep and you're not sleep deprived, I promise you the same project that you work on, you can probably get it done in half the time. So capacity is everything. Energy is everything when it comes to capacity. So it's about giving you energy and it's about you being able to hold space, which is really, again, important in the Web3 space with literally all the spaces that we're in. Discord, Twitter spaces, holding other people's energy. And the thing is too, is going back to the calm and the chaos, you're going to get a lot of hate comments. You're going to get a lot of people in Discords freaking out if a floor price drops. How can you show up and not let that affect you? Not let that sway you? And the FOMO, if everyone's talking about the FOMO and you're like, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I not do this? Don't let it sway you. Bring it back to yourself. Bring it back to your breath. Give yourself that energy. And the more you practice it, the better you will be. I promise you. So other things too that, again, I'm not going to harp on it because I'm not going to be like, you have to sleep or you have to eat well. But these are just some things that have helped me, and something may or may not resonate with you, and that's fine. And maybe you're like, this is, like way over my head, way too much for me to do. Pick one of these things. Like I just gave a ton of examples. Pick one thing. Maybe today it's turning off your Discords. Maybe tomorrow it is leaving Discords that are no longer serving you, or blocking people that are trolling you. Or maybe it is getting more sleep one night. Maybe it is going and working out on the daily. That helps move energy, especially stuck energy, especially energy that doesn't do well for you, like anger and sadness and bitterness. Running helps you move that. Dancing does, even if it's just walking around, going out in nature, sitting in the grass, letting the sun soak in. Those are all things that reset your energy and give you more energy and let you hold things. So when you're angry, go out, breathe into it, lay on the grass, lay in the sun. That will help move a lot of stuff for you. Meditating, that sounds crazy, but literally whenever I'm tired, I will stop doing what I'm doing and I will go meditate. And yeah, every now and then I fall asleep and take a nap, and that means I really need it. But sometimes I'll do it and I will totally be re-energized. And when I thought I would fall asleep, I don't fall asleep. I suddenly have so much more energy. So again, capacity is so important for anybody in this Web3 space to not get burned out, to make sure that you are being successful, to making sure that you have the capacity and the energy to show up in a specific way for other people. I'm not going to get too into this part, but people are subconsciously drawn to other people's auras, to other people's energies. And you can just tell, like, when you go in to a space and you hear a speaker, you know right away just by their voice if they're your vibe or not. It's crazy and it sounds judgmental, but it happens to everybody and we can't really control it. But you are judging people right away based on how they're showing up, based on how they're speaking. And yeah, a lot of that might be some work that you have to do, not them. But other times, it really is. Like if somebody's talking about a project, you're like, oh my God, I'm so bored, or you've just kind of zoned out. It's because they're not in their energy. They're not getting excited about it. Maybe because they didn't sleep last night, or maybe because they're tired of dealing with trolls in their TikToks and they're showing up and they're just telling the facts. And they're not fully stepping in to their badassery, their vibe, their energy. You can tell a difference between somebody coming in here and, just giving examples and talking like this versus somebody who's like, yes, let's step into our energy. Let's do this. It's a totally different thing. And I can tell you that when your energy is scattered to other people and other things, you don't have that energy brought back into you, which is what you need to do to show up, tell your art story, tell your story, be in your purpose, show up on Discord, and really just blow this thing out of the water, all while making money, all while having a really feel-good life, and all while being like the best version of yourself that you can be. All right, you guys. So I believe that is it. I'm going to just check my notes one more time. Yeah, I think I got everything. But thank you for being here today. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts and love to hear your next steps on if this is something that you're going to implement, whether it's everything or nothing. But I'm going to leave you with this. Maybe we'll do some homework. So we have 1, write down what your life looks like, how it feels like. 2, what is making you not feel that way? Okay, so you're making a list of how you want to feel, what's not making you feel that way, and then you can make a list, circle of like everything that you need to get rid of and start thinking about how to get rid of it. Do you drop it completely? Do you like work on something? Like maybe you just turn off a little bit of the Discord and then next day you get rid of something altogether. So it's up to you how you implement it. And again, it's up to how it makes you feel. So feel into what makes sense for you. But either way, this is your permission slip, and it is your job now as an artist who's selling your NFTs to get rid of the stuff that is holding you back so you can move forward in this space. All right, you guys, I love you.